Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors and welcome back to Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc. Last time, we finished our investigation with... That's a bitch and... Oh... That might actually be useful. For this tough time limit, I don't think I need time limit right now. Anyway, sorry. We finished the investigation for the bodies of Kiyotaka and Hifumi. Everyone believes it's Yasuhiro, because Hifumi said Yasuhiro as he died. But Hifumi also only calls people by their last name. And Yasuhiro is Mr. Hagakure's first name. So, we have to prove Yasuhiro is innocent, find out who the real murderer is. Anyway. Trial, all rise.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results.
I do like that he explains it every time, because there's such a gap between the class trials, like when I'm playing, that I do actually appreciate the reminders.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
I wonder if we do ever find the mastermind, right? I wonder if they'll be the one giving the explanation instead of Monokuma.
Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Why are you saying that?
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprint for the suit.
With bad handwriting.
Parts we assume were used to build it, and all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
The thing about it is, Celeste is so forward right now.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know!
Is he really the killer, or no, he is far too dumb for this. Anything else? I have to make it clear. Ah, we're spinning! Is that bananas on the wall? It's a hero message. I want to play the game. Alright, space. And control. Left. Hold. Right, got it.
The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why? Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
Look at the blueprints, the handwriting's awfully messy. Remember what handwriting is.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts.
No, it's wrong!
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
No, we're not. There's no way.
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints,
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
I do believe that.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
You're really not helping the case, Byakuya. Considering what you did in the last one, you're not helping the case.
Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
I think the suit is a red herring.
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
You are so unhelpful. Would you pass it off to me?
Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
Individual in question, the one in the suit. It was Hiro.
A gun! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit. And we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
Byakuya, shut up.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
Thank you, Byakuya. For the first time, I'm agreeing with you.
What? Now that's a bold assumption.
Shut up.
And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes?
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
Are you freaking serious, Byakuya?
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
He used to move Taka's body. It was the target and the dolly.
A gun!
Let's do one more thing.
A gun!
There we go.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
What's with the attitude?
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
It wasn't really wrapped, it was more placed upon, but yeah.
It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there.
I didn't look over there, so I actually cannot confirm nor deny.
But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body, am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
No, because that bloodstains.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
Shut up, Byakuya.
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Dang, and I really like you too. Dang, Celeste did it. Celeste is the one that organized it. Margaret sounds so nice while being so mean. Maybe I could change your mind. I just explained to them why the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. A new element has been added to bullet time battles. Would you like to hear more? Why are we adding new stuff? Let's talk about reloading. Here with the next bullet time battle. We're gonna add one more ingredient to the recipe. The bar of the screen underneath the tempo marker. You see your ammo count. Till now, hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's statements. From now on, locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. It'll cost you one bullet to destroy a single remark. If you run out of bullets, you can't destroy more statements, no matter how locked on you are. If you can reload by pressing the tab key. Okay. Go locking on. You'll have to press the tab key in time with the tempo marker. Basically, you gotta remember the tab key now has a function along with the right mouse button and the left mouse buttons. Automatically reload at the start of fever time and ammo will not decrease. But if your action difficulty is such a gentle, you will not have to reload. In which case you can ignore everything I just said. Good luck and have fun. I'm surprised we're doing one now.
You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you! You miserable wretch! I cannot agree! You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch! You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool!
Oh no, what do I do? What is it? Reload his tab. Favorite time space. Okay. Required to reload. Marker will disappear. Okay. So I need to.
Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch. I cannot agree. You are a fool.
Final strike.
I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
That actually really sucked. I didn't like that at all.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
These Celeste really hate me that much.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo-Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
It's not, idiot.
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer.
Makoto.
If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Yeah, because you can't bend at the waist. But the body was moved. So why the person in the suit couldn't have done it. What do you mean by that? Oh god, we're spinning. There's so many photos. Oh, just his costume.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room.
Right.
And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Right.
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp,
Right.
then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Right.
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Right.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
Where is it?
What's wrong?
My Harry Jones fault.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
Why does it bad in here? I can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I told you it wasn't me. And not to mention, you really get better at the waist. Pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
She's really stuck on it.
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
Really no chance of that, because you can't take it off by yourself.
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
Yeah, Genocide Jack wasn't there. I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually take it off. A little help? But why would it make something that you can't take off by yourself? They didn't make the stupid freaking thing. The possible in the back that's keeping you from getting it off. That's pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get off on your own. Probably have a choice. Let's hop in.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that?
Oh, Celeste being the mastermind here is hurting me bad.
Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How'd you get hurt?
That guy hit me.
What guy?
Robo Justice. That's what I said to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hero, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
No, it ain't gotta.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
Valid.
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself.
There's so many photos.
We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour, because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi.
It doesn't look like an abduction. It looks like Hifumi's like trying to hoist up the arms.
We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I thought there was something moving at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that...
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Well, that's what's wrong. That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down the hallway and disappeared.
And then...
What was that? Even downstairs, it must have been... Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad, come on, I'm gonna have to go back.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor, to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising.
Hifumi's body had disappeared.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
It can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all of this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated.
Not something else a hero would have done.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. I go for the truth of the case. I have to find them no matter what. Probably have to do with the hammers, like I've been saying. Monochrome file number 3. Alright, well...
So, Regarding Taka's
There's
death,
like nothing in there though.
I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
He didn't.
Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3,
I don't know.
while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Sounds we're numbered, but it really is in that order.
So, regarding Taka's death,
I wonder if he got, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while
Taka's death came from...
See? So it's obvious Taka came.
So, I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after?
We already know
What order they were killed in? No, it's wrong. Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
I guess that proves Taka was killed before Hifumi. Who lost his wife. What do we relate to the time he died? Oh, we're spinning. Oh no, we're spelling. Riz. I need an S. And then it's a W. And then N. And then T? No, it's a C. Dang it, I missed it. It's an H. Wristwatch.
Now I understand.
Yay! I did it with my brain, my noodle.
I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Hey, you! How long are you gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice pierced the air as he stared pointedly at his wristwatch. It's almost 10 o'clock, you know that. Bedtime for all the little boys and girls.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
I don't think so. I don't think it's official.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those Justice Hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder, but all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
And now we're doing this again.
When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body.
But he didn't die
That's
there.
totally true! We're all in the clear!
You're not.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
You're really good at this, Yasuhiro.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room.
I like the way that she says everyone's names.
At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
I really feel like he just got up and walked.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
Couldn't have been gone for more than a minute.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Can we not fat shame the cadaver, please?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
Turn in tomorrow to find out more.
What?
Just kidding, I wouldn't do that.
If the dead body were to move itself.
Huh?
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... ghost!
If we didn't really have one to begin with, but okay, Hiro.
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
Is it really possible? It is, because we have the glasses away. We're spinning. No.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about that?
This talk is what I was trying to
Maybe
say.
the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body, the Hifumi's dead body had been...
And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we weird? Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first... there's a chance he...
No. Hifumi was dead, and you know that.
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been...
no, that's wrong! Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
And it was kind of a while after we found Hifumi's.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty.
Huh?
He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time. Which means, even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again.
But he did.
If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Huh? Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
And body discovery announcement. It was while they were in the side room. We found each body and their subs in the equipment room. What time was it when? Bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Repository, my bad. It's in the side room. Ding dong, ding dong. Oh, ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered. Certain amount of time, which you may use however you like. The class trial will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time, but it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
And in reality, when the 2 dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
The glasses wife.
Oh, I know!
What is it?
Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom!
Nailed it.
That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
The last. Oh, so alive. Just have finally showed to everyone. Oh my god. Literally, just spinning. Firstly. Secondly, it's the glasses wife. Thank you!
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office.
Technically.
And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
Oops, sorry.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
Correct.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned...
Oh, sorry. This was tiring me. Please stop wasting my time.
Shoot!
I know. I messed up.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found him, and then his body
And the next time, it was
In the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository. His glasses. That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
What's the kind of trash can in the nurse's office?
I got it! There was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot.
That's colorful integration.
One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear. This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
Good job, buddy. You're really using your noodle.
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
And it must have been him, right?
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
No, the blood bags that were in the mini fridge.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Moved Taka's corpse was Hifumi.
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked? Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means, when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
But that means he took part in the murders.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
There's more?
Yasuhiro, please, we're trying to clear your name.
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed. You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Yeah, the note.
I got it!
There we go.
You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
I found a hole maybe we could use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, but don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet up in the equipment room at 6 a.m.
Ah, that's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to go. Huh? Wait, this one's a little different. In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
I see. Then this note isn't the same one Hero got.
It's not the same?
Idiot. You just said.
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hero. And that person could only have been...
Fumi's pants.
That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
What are we objecting to?
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right? So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy!
TikTok. Oh, girl, please don't. Ever again.
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right? Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
It's just that Jack is seriously scary, but still. Don't let it get to me. Oh, we're spinning. It's a scrap of paper, yeah? No?
Huffy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Huffy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, that's wrong! No! There absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me. The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
You're the idiot for thinking. Both you and Taka are both dumb for thinking.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it? Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Most likely. Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
Who we stole the note is the rip.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note...
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There is only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip,
Literally.
leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive!
Shut up.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely dead.
No, after Tina cried on him.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Can we not fight in the middle of a death round?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
You idiot, that wasn't a compliment.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either.
One of the hammers was washed.
The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue.
So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
That's not what we're looking at right now.
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then...
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
I mean, technically it's the same weapon. Same type of weapon.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
That was actually used to kill Hifumi. The pictures surrounding the case won't become clear until we figure it out. I have to find the truth. Ah, we're spinning! I like the spinning with the blue stripes better than I do when it's all red.
What was used to kill Hifumi?
The hammer.
Was it Justice Hammer 3?
No.
Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
No.
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon?
They have to.
How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers!
Sorry.
No, that's wrong! The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
It's really not completely different. Also, I love how we just continue to bash what Yasuhiro says.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones,
Some as big as your head.
and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
Or just painted the hammers.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. That's what we thought at first, but it has to be an alter ego. Ah, I was spinning. Like someone said they knew how to get the alter ego. Spotless hammer. I don't think that worked here.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
So there's no chance two people work together on this?
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one, only the one who actually, assuming the rule holds true.
That is.
But that only really applies if there, in this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive, assuming the rule holds true.
No, it's wrong! Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you. However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
This is so complicated. I wonder how Yasuhiro's doing.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
Byakuya or Celeste?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
I thought made convinced as the two separate murderers were convinced. That was the main characteristic this time. Everyone must have noticed that fact from the very beginning. Well, she said not to look at that series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. That was really amazing. Although, when I think about it, it's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this. I'm telling you, ultimate dick!
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now!
The killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. And it brings up till now. The way the case is unfolded, to consider all that, we have one person that seems to fit.
Here's my answer!
I do think.
It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying then is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit brains, that lazy, worthless goddamn idiot!
I do really like your natural voice, Celeste.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Oh, what is it? I'm counting suspicious individual.
The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
One of them is dead. The other one's about to be, and I don't want her to be dead.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Oh, well, goddamn, buddy.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Yep.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
Saw a shadow. They moved at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Oh, we've seen this 7 times. Legit.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Downstairs, it must have been Hifumi.
It was to get us to divide into 2 groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
That is true. Then why don't we split into 2 groups? Then he wanted to lead the hunting party. Koto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse office. Leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Byakuya, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
Oh, I don't want you to go, but you're gonna.
I don't believe it! Everything, the whole thing was one big act!
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
Shut up.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
You must really enjoy doing this. Enjoy the sight of us standing around fighting the accused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die just like those guys died. Oh, because it's supposed to... I get it.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
It took me a minute.
Pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead. Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
It's okay.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
You said the Celeste comment didn't make any sense. What's he alluding to? Ah, we're spinning. Article file number 3.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
I know Hifumi's dead.
All I said was, they must really be enjoying this.
Enjoying the sight of us, they must be. We are going to die. And that is all.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's what was so strange about Celeste's comment.
I see what you're saying now.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us stand. They must be positively elate. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like... No, it's wrong.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Uh-oh.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Imaginations?
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
It is.
So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
You're thinking way too hard, buddy.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Explanations. The picture of suspect dragging Hifumi away. Who were dragging the suspect?
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
Oh.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Oh my. Celeste. Please. It seems... I think she could prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. Is that really possible? We're spinning. You get motion sickness. Over justice, Yasuhiro's message. Over just blueprints.
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Actually, yeah, because the
Then the
costume...
fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way! You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand...
No, it's wrong! No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Oh, this is a news break for Celeste. Kinda nice, though.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Oh my.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?
Now, when the spinning portrait starts, you know everything's gonna go downhill.
Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate?
Celeste?
Clearly, you want to cram me into your little guilty box. Well, there's one little problem.
Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
I like the, attempt to try to get back to the accent. Their name is Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Right! But my name isn't really Yasuhiro! It's actually... Taro!
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
Her last name.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
That's why it couldn't have been Yasuhiro.
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No, there's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Except for someone using a fake name.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you? Well, do I?
Unfortunately, right now, I think you're losing, honey.
What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
I feel like she was responding to me.
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Let's don't give up, so then let's do something bigger accepted. We're spinning. The thing is the handbook, isn't it? Yeah.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name, Yasuhiro.
If there's one person here who might have that last name,
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told anyone what your real name is.
How many times do I have to tell you? My name is... Celestia Ludenberg! God damn it!
How long do you plan to go on pretending?
I'm not pretending. It's the truth. And since you have no way to contradict me... That's the only truth there is! Moron!
Okay, second from last.
Hifumi was trying. He wanted us to know the killer. If there's one person,
It would have to be you, Celeste.
how many times? Celestia Ludenberg!
How long do you plan?
I'm not pretending. It's the... And since
You have no way to contradict me.
No, that's wrong! That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Stage ago.
This handbook is absolutely vital to help the school life, so don't lose it. When you start it up, it'll display your name. Always make sure you have the right one. Now, this is not your everyday notebook. This has so many more uses than that.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened? Please, just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because...
You're doing great, honey.
Until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning.
Oh god, no, the comic
and
book.
shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
I feel like this case was actually a little Shorter than the other one. Got a chocolate ball? Why? Why are things from previous cases here? Here's the type of persona before. Go to the very end. Oh, the 1 a.m. goes here. This is hammer number 3. This is hammer 2. I'm missing one. Oh, right, this.
Here's exactly
I
what
really
happened.
don't think I got it right, but I hope.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo-Justice suit.
And his hair flattened all along the front and back.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo-Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan.
I like how his hair is still white.
They called Taka to the equipment room.
Poor Kiyotaka. He never stood a chance.
And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo-Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1, and the Robo-Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack story. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2, and an injured Hifumi to sell us that story. With these two incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our minds that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. While we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. We took a blood packet from the refrigerator, and Justice Hammer 3...
It looked like he was like a magical transforming.
And turned the room into a crime scene, in which he himself had apparently been brutally murdered. He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned, that's what we found.
Owie's hair is just standing straight up.
Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found Taka's body at the same time. So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we naturally assumed it was for Hifumi. We left the nurse's office, and Hifumi once again took advantage of the situation. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all rushed back to the nurse's office. And once again, Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time, he snuck into the equipment room. He wrapped Taka's body in a tarp and used the dolly to move it all the way down to the repository. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had in mind for their final act. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one person who could betray them.
I got him all right? No way!
And they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer from the repository. That should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
I got it all right! Oh my goodness, be still my heart. Oh, I love her border. Yes, ma'am.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
What a closing line.
I lost? I lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words?
I saw the money and I was like, probably Celeste. But I didn't want her to do it. And then she did it.
They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if you're my private instructor. I, Celestia Ludenberg. Actually, no, Taiko Yasuhiro is fine.
Dang. I kind of like your name though, Taiko.
Taiko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
That's valid. I only got one B? $101 medals? Good God.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, no, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
It is indeed the moment we've all been waiting for. Time to vote. Okay? Okay.
I'm not as sad about this one as I am about Mondo. But I'm not happy.
If you would, please locate your lever and cast your vote. And when the votes are tallied, who will become the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one? What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I'm not happy about it. Yeah. Raikon's not even that cute, that sucks. It's basically a formality at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. But like this time, the true killer who devised the whole stinking scheme was... Ta-da! Celestia Ludenberg. Or more precisely, Keiko Yasuhiro.
Honestly.
I lost. That sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifumi's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach Hifumi with the plan. But how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to commit murder. I'm sure she relied on her specialty, lying. My specialty? Don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to him to get him to agree.
So then...
Then, his use, you know. I knew you figured it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice. I used her. She had alter ego. Celeste had alter ego. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but... it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. What you mean? Talking about alter ego.
Say what?
What? Well, what were you talking about?
Just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. We're totally on the loop as usual. How sad.
In other words...
So you're the one who stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I see.
You used to drag Hifumi into the plan you'd come up with. Right again. Last night, we had our meeting about how it'd disappear. I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you, alone. It's about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with this?
It was Taka. He stole it.
So then...
And I have proof. Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I found some use for the camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I showed it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him. But how do you do it? We were supposed to yell if either of us got too close to her.
You are correct. This is why Taka forced me to steal it.
Say what?
As for me...
Please forgive me. He threatened me.
He did.
As for me...
He came to our room last night, unannounced. And then... it is hard for me to even say. He abused me.
What?
And he took pictures. He said if I did not do what he asked, he would show them to everyone. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime, an absolute crime. I know he got a little crazy, but...
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far.
It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was.
I'm about to say something I never said before in my life.
Completely unforgivable!
I'm going to kill him. I'm gonna fucking kill him.
Most unfortunate.
Oh, wait, please. If you go now, you'll be playing with it to his hands.
Actually...
Taka is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape, you don't mean.
Taka is going to try to kill you. God, his room. The figurines don't have rhyme or reason.
Indeed.
And also get keeper to himself.
This is unforgivable!
That bastard.
Completely unforgivable!
We're swearing.
Honestly.
Can you allow him to continue with his barbaric acts?
Absolutely not. How can I? Gee.
I swear I will save her!
Actually,
Then would you like to join me with... Or would you like to join with me? As it just so happens, I have come up with a plan. I have devised a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete.
Hmm?
What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. If we agree without a second thought. The fact that Adam had on him was remarkable. Power of love. Even love as twisted as that can still drive people mad. It would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Fumi's creation?
indeed.
Yes. It was a pain in the butt, too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide a fake standard general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So why'd you decide to make me a suspect? Because you're stupid. That's so valid. That's it? Oh, that's it?
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad his stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you were explaining your plan to Fumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? What she's asking is, what was Fumi supposed to do after that? Assuming you had actually let him live.
Are you okay with this?
That's simple. After he did his part to pretend to be dead, once everyone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded, on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And you really believe that? Well, of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained it to Hifumi, the plan was... Well, you were all questioning him about what had happened to him. I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody would doubt him. I told him that and he believed it. It's all very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie delivery of the opponent. In fact, Hifumi ended up. He believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
You planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How could you let me so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya.
I wonder about that.
No, he deserves the pleasure and the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then, what made you take things this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? We're talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us. It is a lot of money, it's true. That's not all there is to it. At the moment, our new life here began. My only thought has been escape.
But
all along you were saying how we should accept life here.
You little bitch!
Obviously that was a lie.
Hey!
I couldn't take it, I hated here from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little bitch!
I wanted to get out. Every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why? Huh?
This is fine.
Because I had a dream. Accepting a life here would have meant nothing. Less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
There's no way I could ever do that. In all the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. And what was that dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. I love that for you. A+. A castle? And together, handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers/bodyguards. I was going to make them just look like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of decadence. I really love this for you, Celeste. I had it all planned out.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about. But with my own winnings, Monica's $10 million would have made that dream reality. I was right on that edge, but...
There is nothing to be done.
Unfortunately, my dream was scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream to the very end. And... oh, so why would I?
Just the worst.
You sound so passionate, but... you were really about to kill your own friends for it?
Oh.
And you're asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. I think nothing is sacrificing others for my own needs. I feel nothing.
Do you understand?
That's all there is to me. It's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. Plus, how could you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in that. It's not just other people. I can even fool my own emotions. The conscious deceives the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes, indeed.
That's right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. But you know, if I could be reincarnated, if I had a choice, then...
Isn't it wonderful?
I think I would like to come back as Marie Antoinette. You'd just be executed again. I mean, you live in a lavish castle, but you'd still be executed.
Hey!
You just get executed again. Celeste smiled then. And when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings. But that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak fake smile is what betrayed her.
Thrills, chills, kills!
You all done? Okay, let's get rolling. The black can deserve the piece and must pay the price.
Now then, I've prepared a very special punishment!
For her, the ultimate gambler.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
But wait, where's the thing?
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this.
What? Oh, it's a key. It's for one of the lockers. This is...
Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important. Well then... Take care, everyone. Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
I hope you have a good death, Celeste. Game over. Celeste has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Oh, is she being burned? At the stake or something? What's with the rabbit? The burning of the Versailles yes! Oh, please! Oh, this music is gorgeous. Oh, it's climbing all around. Even going up the stage. Dang. This is actually a really beautiful execution. You're kind of ruining the moment.
Oh yes, thank you. Now we're all safe. I think because she's like the ultimate gambler, but her entire goal in life was to live in a European castle, which tended to be built way before our time. I feel like it was like a final middle finger to have a piece of modern technology kill her instead of what they used in the before times to basically kill innocents. It's over. Third execution is over. It's so empty in here. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. For him to just come along and...
Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free from their regrets for the outside world, and so many people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young. You can put more value in your lives.
What are you gonna do?
And I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope on to the next generation.
Let me out of here!
What do I care about hope? I'll throw it all in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad!
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is. But in reality... Oh, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
God, I'm sick of you people asking that.
Give it a rest already.
So anyway... Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key-type object from Celeste?
Hey! Hey!
So what's the deal with that?
What?
What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh!
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh! How exciting!
Oh man, oh jeez, oh man, oh jeez. What do you mean, what did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it.
What was that just now? I just went to something to Kyoko's body. What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kinda awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well?
Meanwhile, you guys go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. It's not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
See ya later!
Monokuma disappeared. He was all depressed and in despair. Dang. Most of the fun people are gone. I think the last funny-ish people are Genocide Jill and Yasuhiro. No one else is really any fun. But that wasn't all despair. There's one small hope. Hey Kyoko. Monokuma already mentioned it, but... What's that key Celeste gave you?
so...
Most likely... It's the key to the one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
That means... Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, they looked up behind us and said,
Hey,
"We're gonna go on alone from here. Everyone head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later."
What?
Why exactly are you going alone?
so...
You would have to ask. She spoke. She glanced quickly at the surveillance cameras.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? You're still at risk of a spy, you know. And I'll go too.
What?
You. Please let me go. Then here arguing is just gonna draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Thank you, Byakuya.
well then.
Then it's up to you now.
Yo!
Everybody go to the dining hall, okay? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together?
Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. It's like here are total pushovers. Nope. Got to feel what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me and Kyoko out there alone.
Shall we go? So then...
Get into that locker. Kyoko took the key Celeste had given her and unlocked the locker. The lock swung open, we saw.
You're really cold.
Good morning! It's been a while, hasn't it? He's safe, thank goodness. I heard Kyoko sound so relieved. Like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word. It stayed quiet the entire time.
No.
Oh, and I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon. It was released tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as it is concerned, sure, but... Can we take a second? To have this opportunity, I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me. What are you trying to do all on your own here at the school? Is that why you wanted to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, it's not something you need to know right now. You don't need to know. It makes me want to know. That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? What happened during the investigation this time? You disappeared. We didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you did that.
Indeed.
It's only natural that you think I'm the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me. Isn't it obvious? You believe in their friends, right? So I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
Fine. I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. After I told Kyoko I believe her, she told me a story that was almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes. So I waited for nighttime to come, and when it did, I went into action.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have a surveillance camera or monitor in it. The storage closet there, way in the back. She said there was a way to the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but Kyoko would really be right about this. Let's end this chapter with a bang, baby! There's a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. Kyoko told me about could really be hidden in here. There was a way in the back of the storage closet. Very seriously. I think I placed my hand in the back of the storage closet. Suddenly I felt like I was being yanked in. Ka-shunk. At the same time, I heard the sound I fell through the wall. I had no idea what's going on. Boom. I'd fallen through the back of the storage closet. Turned out, the back was a revolving door. I made my way to the other side. Like Kyoko said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the second floor, there's a storage closet. Away in the back of the closet, the secret room. So this is the secret room. What's in here? A bunch of files and what looks like volume after volume of yearbooks. Covered in dust. Looking at everything, I fall on the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. It's a big Academy student registry. One thing that's not covered in dust. So I've been looking at it recently. Put the file into my hand. I get a chance to look at it. The paper fell on the floor, and I turned my attention to it. You must not leave. What's this? You must not leave. Kinda weird. I could understand if it's like, I can't leave, or you... But you must not leave? What is this? My head feels funny. Weird sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but can't
quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? I think we found Robo-Justice. Strange sound rang out through my head. Felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth, and then darkness. I didn't understand what was happening. Don't know what started it. It's all over. And then, oh, and with that I opened my eyes. I don't know how long it had been. Everything is gone. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. Still throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. Normal desk and normal drawers. Empty bookshelf. Empty. Gone. It's all gone. Your book, student registry, and even the note that fell onto the floor. It's all gone. What does that mean? I refused to do any more work. The pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. I managed to get back to the first floor at school. The walked, the more I felt. Things are getting blurry, I can't see in front of me. I saw myself collapsing right there. After that. Invested as I heard a sound. Big but undeniable. The sound came from the gym. I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym. The sound got stronger and stronger. What's going on? Can't be nothing. You're in the gym? Well, it's taken too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here. I really thought we were almost done here. My bad. Phase 14? Good God. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I will see you later.